Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming. My name is Hollow and we're back for set 3 of things you didn't know in Sunbreak. Once again, these are the smaller details of the game. Little unexpected interactions and mechanics you didn't know about. Things that you can certainly use to your advantage, like with statuses or even breaking certain effects of certain monsters. Or the unlocking of special items like new layered equipment for your buddies. A huge thank you to those of you who got involved in the comments of each of these videos to give me suggestions. Keep them coming, but we'll talk more about that later. Let's begin. Alright, for the first thing you might not have known then, it's to do with Bahari. Now, Bahari himself is much older than he might appear, as you learn through the story, but he isn't working alone. As it turns out, he of course has an assistant. This white-haired young man who seems to be working with a palico, who is, I guess, his extra assistant. So there's an assistant to Bahari, there's an assistant to the assistant to Bahari. I assume there's even a smaller palico somewhere that's an assistant to this guy. But these two work quietly in the background, never speaking, and I do wonder maybe, in potentially like an update, we'll see them get some kind of role in the story. You never know, there's quite a lot of unused characters, but they do feel like a nice background. But here's the secret you might not know. If you know about the two assistants, maybe you don't realize that I think it's the palico's assistant, is an artist. Right now we have our two new twin quest maidens in Original Rise, but one of them's, what is that, a puppet? A sock puppet? And there's another painting in there, looks like a palamute, but unfortunately I can't quite get the same zoom in there, but you can see it's got a little bedroom, a little area likely for the palico, right? Who is apparently an artist. But I've actually seen other people who've been talking about this. They have different art in there. Now, I've just progressed time a few times and not seen a change. So do you guys know how to make the art change? Maybe it's tied to achievements or stuff you've done in game. Either way, it's a tiny little neat detail that's there in a hub that is otherwise quite small when you think about it. We have this whole section over here that we can't go to that's unused. And once again, I imagine in maybe an update, we'll see some further use of this place. And while I'm here in the hub, I think I'll just mention another one from the list of things that are a little bit unusual about the hub. While it isn't massively huge, as I've been saying, there are lots of little details that are nice. There's subtle interactions between the characters that kind of build life. Passapato here, the historian, is a friendly character and has quite a few interactions with Utsushi, who, if you aren't aware, hangs around in the hub at times up here on this platform with his mask on, looking very cool. A more obvious one is here Arlo and Jay training, or whatever the hell this is. You can even find Lukacha here in a few interesting spots. Instead of just standing where you first speak to her and get requests, you can find her working on her gun, which is wise, I suppose. But my favorite unexpected interaction between characters is definitely the historian and Utsushi, because as it turns out, Utsushi likes to pick up the historian and carry him around places I guess he otherwise couldn't get as an old man. I was only made aware of this literally this week by Dino, who saw this in the hub and was like, did you know about this? And no, neither me or Josh knew. I guess it's pretty hidden and out of the way, so unless you're looking up, you would probably always miss this. It's the subtle details like this that really make a world feel alive. It's quite nice. Okay, next up we have one from Abyss Phantom in the comments of last time, to do with the Narwa and Ibushi sets. Now, as you may know, these two sets have quite a lot of skills on them at level 1. But as a special effect as part of these sets, when you're wearing 4 pieces of them, you will get an extra level on many of your skills. So as you can see, I have 2 levels of Blood Right here, right? And then as I put on an Ibushi helmet that has nothing to do with Blood Right, it increases my level of Blood Right. I don't have an attack boost on this headpiece. There's nothing in the decoration slot, but as you can see, it's literally giving me another level of attack boost as well. As Abyss Phantom explained in his comment, yeah, you only get 2 levels of Blood Right on the waist here that I've got equipped, and yet I have level 3 because of the mixing of Narwa and Ibushi equipment. You can mix the Ibushi and Narwa sets to get different skills depending on what you want. So if you're finding yourself running Ibushi or Narwa sets, maybe you're running a Thunder or Dragon who want that extra attack like this, you can get some serious, surprising benefits like level 3 Blood Right from just one piece. But it works with other things as well. As you can see, Weakness Exploit would go from level 1 to level 3, even though there's 1 level here and not more than that. Chain Crit would go from level 0 to level 3, even though there's only 2 levels on this piece. So there might actually be some interesting, unexpected potential by using Master Rank Ibushi and Narwa, and we're gonna have to explore and experiment with this. One from Luther Loser, who let us know that you can actually massively increase the window of the scroll swap dodge. What we're talking about is when you scroll swap and then you press an evade, you do a little flip. It's really cool. And you honestly go pretty damn far. It's honestly really good. You go further than a regular roll, so using this for evade purposes, especially with some of the interesting skills that increase the value of scroll swapping, whether it's heals or otherwise, yeah, it's a pretty useful thing. So let's stand right here, just between these two doors, and do a little scroll swap towards the dummy and see how far we get. So scroll swap, evade forward, and I just barely don't quite reach just out of the water. I'm still standing in the water. However, now with a new skill equipped, let's see how far I go on a scroll swap evade. So much further. Literally double. That is literally double the distance. And that is because I have 3 out of 3 evade extender. Now, perhaps some of you will know about this just because you run it in your sets. I think it's a really good idea to run, say, with a more stable weapon, such as, yes, a stable weapon like the switch axe here. Having 1 level of evade extender at least can make a huge difference for the playstyle of this. And I do genuinely believe it's worth losing a bit of DPS to have an easier time using a weapon that is very punishing to someone who is static like this. While learning the switch axe, having some evade extender definitely feels good, but my god, having 3 levels and then doing the scroll swap to evade around, it just feels absolutely comical, and I didn't realize it affected that so aggressively. So thanks for letting me know, Luther Loser. That's quite interesting. I might even use that in combat intentionally now, using that evade with the scroll swap more commonly. Okay, for this you can see I'm fighting a Pyre Rakna, and I'm trying to cut its webs as it's shooting out the fire. This is because it actually has a hitbox and damage that you can break. You can actually break those. I had no idea. As shown in this clip from Reddit, you can see this great sword user is able to snap the wire, and that even staggers the monster when it's exhausted, which is really cool. This will work on both versions of Rakna, whether it's Pyre or regular, and you can break any of the wires that it does. So if you're able to snap it during a key moment, that can help protect you, or of course stagger the monster like it does there. Thing is though, this also works surprisingly with kunai. I mean, they are literally slicing damage, but unfortunately, as you can see with my little dual blades, I'm trying desperately to cut them. You can see I'm doing damage to some of them, but it's just not enough. A big, heavier hit with, say, a slicing hit, that's what's going to do the job. But technically, if it's weak enough, you could cut it with a kunai. People in the comments from last time were telling me about this. Quite a few comments about this were saying Insect Glaive's an awesome pick for this, because when it does the super move and attaches to the ceiling, you can go up there and cut the web and have it fall down. But yeah, I didn't realize the webs actually had those hitboxes, and yeah, you can snap them, which can be useful if you've got good timing and enough damage. Our next tip comes from Stuart McEwen, who says AntiDobro can actually be used to cleanse the frenzy virus, say against the various Megalas. Now, something you may know, or might not know I suppose, is you can use null berries to reduce the effect of the frenzy. So as the bar's filling up and you want to give yourself more time, you can pop a null berry and that'll give you a little bit longer, like I talked about in my gore focused video back at the launch of the game. If you were playing normally and fighting a gore or whatever, and you got the frenzy and you managed to beat it, you're going to get a nice affinity boost, right? That's the normal way it works. Right now, by default, I have 40% affinity. We're going to let gore hit me with some kind of frenzy of some kind. Here we go. And perfect. So now we've got the frenzy. We've got 40% affinity. We're going to use the AntiDobro. It's going to be really cool if this works. It fully cleanses it. It doesn't just give you time. It completely cleanses it. You beat the frenzy. So I should have more than 40% affinity now. Yeah, I got the 15%. The full 15% affinity. So yeah, you can get yourself frenzy super quick, immediately, without having to beat it, just to get the benefit of that affinity much quicker using an AntiDobro. That is a great tip for fighting any Megala. Just get an AntiDobro during the fight or before the fight and pop it immediately and just get on with the buff. Certainly a nice little advantage to bring into your fights against the frenzy users. I like that one. For our next tip, we have one from Hinde085, who lets us know about a secret in the Citadel. Here, just below area 14 and 4, is a burned out sort of village or living quarter. And in that area right here is a well you can drop down. Down here there are a few secrets, such as a very important request reward as well. So in this hole on the side, if you're careful and climb in here without falling, you're going to be able to find a secret room with some items and an endemic, the lantern book. We're going to need something to blow this up. Barrel bombs always does the trick. So we break into this room and we have some stately storage boxes, which should provide some of those items. Yes, the antique tableware. This is where you get it for the great gift for your buddies. There's quite a lot of points as well. I just got a few thousand from coming in here. Ah, nice. And a mandragora. All the way at the bottom of the tunnel here is another underground section with a blast toad leading out for a sort of sewer system out into the water here. So I guess technically you could come through the underground section here, down through the sewers and climb that tunnel very slowly, but it's probably a better idea to go up the well. With that, you can hand that request in if you've not done it before, and we're going to get some special rewards. As you can see, Feline, Monarch, and the Canine Knight for designs for your buddies. Wow, they look pretty cool. It's like the knight outfit, much like Fioraine wears, but it actually makes the cat have a unique style of a head, I guess, a bit fluffy. Meanwhile, the Canine Knight, oh, I love that. The blue on that's really nice. I've been running this kind of gamer pirate, I suppose, but I might make him a knight, a gaming knight. I absolutely did. God damn, he looks good. Nice little secret there. Wasn't aware of that on the Citadel. Last but not least then, some little notes about your room, because yeah, there's some little secrets or details, I suppose, in here to continue on from last time, such as a little detail that I really appreciate, some personalized photos and frames around the room. There's 3 of these slots that you can make use of. I've got a couple of monsters and views with endemic life, and it's quite nice to be able to do this to your room. It's quite simple. You just speak to your housekeeper and then choose room customization and change room interior. If we go to the 4th slot, you can see my 3 images and even details about when I took these pictures. By selecting one, we can pick from all of the images that I've taken and maybe pick one like this one as a nice little background. Definitely worth doing and a nice little way to show off what you've done. And I like things that encourage taking pictures and getting a different perspective. Like the scenic stuff in this game is actually quite nice. But of course, there's other details like the statues being back. There is new versions of them in Sunbreak, like the golden versions here. We would get these statues before by doing the lottery and getting lucky, winning it and getting a statue, or by collecting the relic records all around the new maps. And you can place them other places, like on this desk as well, instead of just on the shelving, which is a nice little detail. The rewards for getting all of the relic records on, say, the jungle are the Hamator statue here. There's Astalos as well for 10, all 10. And then for Citadel, you can get Garam Golem and Luna Garon. Of course, as before, there are rewards for getting all of the relics in the game for Narwa and Ibushi statues as well. There's quite a variety you can collect from lottery or otherwise. More customization for the room and such is always appreciated and something I'd like to see more of in the future. But there you have it. That is set 3 of things in Sunbreak you might not have known. I really like doing this kind of series on any game, really. It's fun to find these little things and make me appreciate the game all the more. And even give me little advantages in fights, like the AntiDobro thing today. If there's anything you've not seen in the series so far that fits into this style, little details or really useful stuff, big or small, then let me know in the comments and I might include it in a video and give you a little shout out. Thanks to everyone who's got involved so far, really appreciate it. But for now, otherwise, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.